welcome to another episode of Just Us Dads. Thank you for tuning in to another Dadversation. If this is your first time here, head on over to YouTube, follow and subscribe. Follow us also on all the other social media and audio platforms. Happy New Year. This is the first episode of 2021. We're excited, of course. Chris and George are both here. Happy New Year, guys. We're recording this just a couple hours before, by the way. Yeah, Happy New Year. George, you figuring out that angle there? You got it?
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. 2021. We're going to talk about a little bit. We're going to do like a little year in review, what we learned. We all had different experiences. It was a very unique year, I'm sure, for us and for everyone listening or watching. We're going to talk a little bit about what we want out of 2021. Hopefully, it'll be a much better year. But guys, I was thinking about this right before we went on, and I was thinking, how is this year over already? It feels like literally it just got started, and it's those cliches, right? That it goes so fast and time passes, but literally this year it was you blinked, we turned 2020, and then we blinked again. We're all in the middle of a pandemic. We blinked, and the year ended. That's pretty much how it felt for me. I don't know.
Yeah, then it never took off.
Yeah. Or it took off and it just crashed right away. I don't know.
It was just one event. That's it.
Yeah, it feels like the whole thing happened. It revolved around the pandemic. That's pretty much 2020 for you, right there. That's it, Anyway, Chris is all dressed up. He's getting ready for the big party.
Yeah. Party of four. That's
what it is. Same thing here.
Hey, you got to do it. You got to pretend, man. You
have to
make some ambiance, get some wine out.
Yeah.
Cook. We just made our vasilopita. All of us together.
You put a coin in there for sure?
I put 400 of them.
It's like everyone's getting a coin.
Every slice you're getting something.
Every slice will have a coin.
Yeah. But it was a little bit of a crazy year.
Yeah,
it's a crazy year, and you know what? Everyone wants to get rid of it, and not to be pessimistic, but I think January, February, March is pretty much going to look like September, October, November. You know what I mean?
Well,
just because the 2021 comes in doesn't mean anything's going to change. And you can be hopeful and wishful.
It's symbolic.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, okay, good, good riddance 2020. Let's go 2021. Yeah, but the fact is that, dude, we're still in the middle of shit right now, and nothing is going to change, at least for the next 2 or 3 months,
That's it.
We're going to be floating around. Yeah. But I guess it's okay, mentally you're just getting prepared for something new, something better, I guess. I don't know. I think
that's the difference. That's the difference, man. Yeah. People should get prepared for 2021 mentally instead of wishing that 2021 is better than 2022.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I just wonder how many people actually sit down and prepare. I mean, I don't do that. I think in the past I would. It's been years now that I haven't really sat down and said, okay, what do we want for 2021? Let's put down some goals. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I just don't associate this whole, it's a new year. Let's start fresh and let's put goals. For me, it's just one continuation. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. But you don't do any goal setting at all, or you don't like doing it?
Yeah, but the goal setting is there throughout the year, and it kind of, every 3 or 4 months you kind of review, and especially now that we're running the company, we're constantly in that mindset, right? Okay, where are we? Are we advancing? Okay, how much time? When do we start over again? And there's always that happening. So it's just naturally gonna happen, in the new year. So it's not as if we sit down and we have this huge plan and we put everything on paper. Maybe we should. I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't know. We don't.
Yeah.
George,
well, I'm not as organized. I'm not too organized with that either. Just you've made decisions and you got long-term goals and you're still working on them, and that's that. The little stuff, it's not about resetting it at the December 31st. Okay, this is it. There's a threshold. And January 1st, that's the new beginning. It's like, no. I'm still pulling the same.
No, it is and it isn't, right? It is and it isn't. if in your brain, like your whole life is kind of set, like from the 1st of January until the 31st of December of, that end of the year. And then in your mind, it's like, okay,
only the government, so they can know when to stop charging you taxes. When to start again.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. And I mean, we've spoken before already about goal setting and all that stuff. And I think it's important. I don't know. I just
no goal setting. You are right. It is important. I agree with that.
But I mean, it's just been a while that, and I'm like you. I'm like you. I'm not organized to the point where I'm like, okay, January. This is what's happening February, and then we have like the first trimester. So by March, this is where I want to be, and then we're gonna. It's not that detailed. I don't know. Maybe it should be. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Chris is much more organized that way. With his,
I do that.
50,000 agendas.
I believe that. I believe it's important. I will make a distinction though, because I don't think New Year's resolutions work. I believe goal setting works, but not New Year's resolutions. I've been setting a New Year's resolution to lose weight for the past 40 years, and I know it doesn't work because a New Year's resolution is basically an intention, right? It's a decision. Or at least wishful thinking, hopeful thinking, like this is what I want to do. But goal setting for me is a little bit different, and I believe in that. And I believe that you need many goals in different aspects, let's say, right?
No, but goal settings is one thing. I mean, we're just saying the switch of January 1st for this year. Now this is the new goal set of goals. They're goals that you're bringing with you from before.
Yeah. And there's fiscal goals, or I guess company goals, if you want. Yeah. And they don't necessarily start on January 1st. But yeah, January 1st, I do my own. I took a whole day. I reviewed some stuff. Some stuff I got rid of because they were just bad goals. Some of them I didn't achieve. So I pushed them back, like you said, in 2021. But I definitely do the exercise. And I think it does work. It's something, it's almost like you're planning your life in a way. And, just the way you would plan, right?
What would be the breakdown? What would you recommend?
The first time I did it, this is Jim Rohn's method. I just sat down and wrote anything I want to do, almost like a bucket list. Like I sat down and like, what do I want to do? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? So it was just very, very, very general, right? So it was like, I'd like to own a Fender Stratocaster. I'd like to go to Japan. I'd like to read a book. Blah, 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 blah. So it's just a big list. And then what I did is I assigned a timeline to it. So 3 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. And then I took all the recent ones and made those my yearly goals. Then I did my 5-year goals and did my 10-year goals. And then within the year goals, the short-term goals, I just broke it down into like, okay, specific time. What do I need to become to achieve that? What are the skills I need to master? What are the obstacles? And then you just put some kind of measuring tool. Yeah, I do it like that. I learned it like that. I do it. It's effective. I do a lot of things, so I need to measure that stuff like that, and it gives results. Certain things it doesn't, but for most, I guess the financial goals, social goals, there's personal goals. Like like a personal goal this year would be to like take vocal lessons. I always wanted to take vocal lessons. I learned how to sing, but I learned how to sing the wrong way. Yeah. So that would be like maybe, hey, I'll take some vocal lessons, and nothing crazy. Maybe I don't know, once a month. Yeah. And there's financial goals and there's family goals. I definitely set some family goals. So I stopped teaching. Yeah. So I'm taking about 1 year, 2 years off. So that time is going to obviously be replaced by family in this podcast, obviously. So yeah, I'm a believer of that, man. And I think more people should do it.
I think it's definitely more efficient. The fact that you're actually writing it down, first of all, it stays in your head. Like anything you take the time to write down automatically, it kind of ingrains itself much more, right? But also the fact that it's visual after you have it. So you can actually put up and say, okay, where am I? Like if you look at it every single day, you know how to keep yourself kind of motivated to either achieve it or to tell yourself, yeah, maybe
stay engaged.
It's not realistic.
Yeah, stay engaged. Yeah, and there's different methods of this, and you can read them online. And maybe we could even write a blog on that. I have a few methods that I use. That's an interesting one, but I do believe it. And I believe it in times like crisis like this, where people kind of maybe lose their purpose or they don't know what to do, or they're thrown off their game a little bit. The goal setting practice will make you just see things differently. What you're doing is you're putting things on paper. So you're just organizing the thoughts that are a little bit messy in your mind. So once you put them on paper, you can look at them and say, okay, do I really want this? Is this worth pursuing? Maybe not this. And it just gives you an agenda.
Like a puzzle.
Yeah. Because the sad thing is most people will take 2 weeks to plan their vacation, and very little people take an hour or a day to plan their life. And all you have to do is just put it on paper and achieve that. Think about it. You know what you want. You know what you want to visit. You know the countries you want to see. You know what you want to become. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to have, whether it's material or any other goal. So you just put it down, and you just put you're not going to follow the step like religiously, but it's a guideline. You won't hit a target you can see. So you just put it on paper, and then you just follow that. And I was reluctant at the beginning, but it's been since 2012, 2013, every year. And then quarterly, and then I even look at them weekly.
Yeah, that's good.
And I look at them every day. When I wake up, when I go to bed, yeah.
It keeps your eye on what you want.
Yeah. It gives you.
You don't forget what you were thinking that other time.
Yeah, and then it's easier for time management because, and this is a problem I used to have. I still have it, but a little bit less. I get involved with too many things, and you kind of lose focus. So in a way, it's clear what you should say no to.
Yeah.
Right. If you have your goals and your whatever, because the accumulation of your goals become your dreams or whatever you want to set in your life. So it's little milestones. So let's say something comes along and it's like, let me see my goal. Well, it's not in there. I'll say no. But if you didn't have it written down, maybe you could have said yes, and that would take you off the track. I used to do that a lot. I'm just saying it works for me. I know it works for a lot of people. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
You got to give it a shot,
That's a good idea. I think we're gonna put a blog up. Maybe we're gonna prepare a blog, and just we're gonna get back to the topic, but just so we can inform everybody, we're gonna be making a few adjustments to the podcast. We're thinking of new things and how to structure this better and to bring in more ideas and that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that. But to go back to what we were saying. What were we saying? Oh yeah, the blog. We're going to prepare a blog. It's not a bad idea on how to organize, how to set goals, why, and all that stuff. I think that would bring value.
And there's people that have broken down to a science. There's people that go. I think you touched upon it a little bit before. A lot of people will even go to like vision boards, affirmations, mantras, things they say to themselves, and these things work, man. And if you sit there and you track people that are successful in certain areas, you're going to find that a lot of people are kind of using these methods. Yeah. At the beginning, I know it sounds like a little weird. It sounds a little kooky. It sounds like, okay, look, I'm not going to do that. But it's almost like building a habit, right?
Yeah.
And then what that does, the goal setting science is like you're starting to realize the differences between goals, habits, right? An affirmation. What's the difference between them? Like there's a difference between resolution, a goal, a dream, and a habit, right? Like when you say, I just want to make more money, let's say, that's not a goal. That's a wish.
Yeah.
And resolutions usually don't work for like 60% of the people. Actually, no, 60% of the people set resolutions, and I think 6 or 7% achieve them, according to Inc. magazine. And that's because it's not specific enough.
Yeah.
And there's a whole science, and I buy it, man. I read a lot. I read on this a lot, and you know what? I've helped people with it. I help my students with it. Like a lot of times they just come in a little confused, and we sit down, and even though it's not part of the curriculum, it's like you help them with that, and once they start seeing it, it's a little bit more clear.
Right. Yeah, no, but even with the resolution, because like you mentioned before, there's all this debate between resolutions and goals, and at the end of the day, I think it's the exact same. It's not the exact same thing, but it could be the same thing, because like the resolutions that you want, if you actually apply them using whatever formula that you're talking about, they could very potentially become goals, right? I mean, you want to lose weight. People say, okay, this year I'm going to lose weight. It's also a goal. Like it's not only a resolution. The problem is that it stays a resolution because no one makes the extra effort into making it into a goal, into actually, going through the processes of losing weight, for example, or becoming more financially successful.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch upon the losing weight one because it's my Achilles heel.
Yeah,
and I haven't accomplished that one, so I don't like talking about that one. But let's say we take like a financial goal, right? This is the difference. Most people will take the format. I'll give you the format of a New Year's resolution that doesn't work, right? The format is, I want to make more money in 2021.
Yeah.
So that's a wish. You have an intention, it's a wish. You've maybe made the decision or not, but it stays there. The difference with a goal, it's like, okay, how much do I want? Okay, I want 100 grand. All right, 100 grand. How do I break 100 grand in a month? When am I going to complete it by? What do I need to do to get that? How many sources of income do I need to increase? In order to increase these sources of income, who do I need to be? What skills do I need to hone? What do I need to master? What's going to be an obstacle? What's not going to be an obstacle? Is it possible? How can I measure it? So you've gone from a wish and an intention to something that you can pretty much break down and have a plan. So strategy. Then you have a strategy. So you plan your work and then you work your plan and you get there. A resolution is just a saying. Yeah, you're right. It is very close, but it's not. And then a lot of people confuse a resolution or a goal with a habit. Sorry, I'm a little nasal because I've been sick since Monday. Sinus. I don't have COVID, by the way. I didn't test myself, but I don't have COVID. So, like a habit. A lot of times somebody would say, look, I want to read more. Well, that's not a goal. Yeah. That's a habit that you need to implement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, once you define the words properly, then I think they're more clear, and then you're onto something.
Right. Okay, let's talk about 2020 because we're going to be releasing a blog soon. This is the first blog, and we're gonna do our very best to have one blog every month. It was a goal that we had actually last year, which we failed at. It's okay. We're gonna try this time around to have at least one blog for everyone to read every single month. The first one's going to come out, and basically we'll talk about things that we learned in 2020. We're going to touch a little bit on that on this episode as well. So yeah, let's go back to 2020. Forget about the pandemic. We all know it was the pandemic, but obviously that shaped a lot of our lives, right, throughout the year. I mean, everything changed. I mean, a lot more things were happening at home because of that. It was like this chain reaction of events that kind of unfolded. So yeah, let's go back to 2020. Let's see how we grew or what we learned in 2020, and more specifically about being dads, right? I mean, this is it's a dad show. So what did 2020 teach us about being dads? Let's start with Chris.
Well, for me, look, 2020 was a good year for me.
It's a tough question to throw in.
Yeah, it is a tough question.
You just threw him in the fire.
2020 was a good year for me, other than my cat dying and my uncle dying in Greece, unrelated to COVID.
Yeah.
My uncle passed away and my dad's brother passed away. But it was a pretty good year, I guess. So I'm not one of those that suffered. COVID wasn't near our home, even though I knew of some people with some cases, and the people that I knew that ended up getting COVID came out of it fine, right? The way they described it was a little bit of a cold, a little headache. I lost a little bit of taste, but when they're back to work and everything's fine. So I didn't stop working. I actually made more money. We actually got to live family closer together. So we did things closer together. I worked a little bit less and made more. So it wasn't a bad year for me, but definitely there was things that I learned. And the way I learned it, was always through the lens of not what did I learn as a dad, but what did I learn in order to teach my kid? That's usually the lens I operate with, right? It's not like, okay, what did I learn? Because obviously your kids are going to teach you things and you're going to teach your kids things. But it's like, what do I learn? What do I need to learn in order to give my kids? And you know what? Yeah, we are going to sit down and think about it and write a blog on this. But I think the first one, and I think it's unanimous, it's obviously gratitude.
Yeah.
How to express gratitude, how to be grateful and thankful for the things we have and not for the things that we don't have or the things we lose, right? Because life is that. You'll keep on losing things, but you got to stay grateful to the things that you have. And that is a tough concept to teach kids because they have everything. Or I know, not every kid, obviously. Like, I don't want to talk for everyone, like across the world, right? Yeah. You always have to say warnings and caveats because you're gonna offend somebody.
Yeah, no, we're focusing like in our family setting because gratitude for me too is one of the top.
That's unanimous. So I'll give you that one. I'll let George say another one. I think gratitude, everyone agrees, and the people that still don't feel that is the most important emotion of all need to have a lot to learn, man. That's everything. I find that is how they say repetition is the mother of all skill. Well, gratitude is the mother of all emotions. It's the right emotion to feel to build everything else.
Yeah. And
like once you have that, you see the world through a different lens, and you become a better person just because you're grateful.
And especially this year, right, where the examples were so many that you kept hearing it on the news, or maybe through people that you knew, or friends, or other family members.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you realized what you had, and of course, I mean, it probably wasn't the easiest year for everyone. But when you realize at the end of the day, compared to the stuff that you heard or the stuff that is actually going on, not only here but anywhere, all over the world, you realize that fuck yeah, man, let's just be grateful. I mean, even us, and just to touch upon what you said, it was a very good year for us too. We did make more money. We developed a lot more in terms of the business. Family wise, for us, it didn't really change much because we were home before, and we kept staying home even more than we were before. So that obviously created a bigger attachment with the family. But when you're actually there sitting and playing with your kid, like at 2 p.m. or at 1 p.m, when everyone else is kind of rushing to figure things out, you realize, God, man, we don't have it that bad, right? So yeah, there was a lot of the phone collapsed. The funny thing would have been if he's off. If he's wearing shorts or he's underwear, the phone falls off.
It would have been good. It would have been good.
I'm working on it. Hold on.
So yeah, George's, for those that are listening and not watching, George's phone just collapsed off his desk, so he's setting that up again. But yeah, just to get back to what we're saying, definitely gratitude is there. It was always there, but I just feel like the context this year, at least from my side, opened up my eyes much more than ever before. What the?
That wasn't mine.
That's Maria. Okay. That's my little daughter that took my other cell phone and is putting her music on.
That's because she's getting ready to party.
Preparing for the New Year bash.
Don't blame her, man. It's New Year's Eve. But
no,
yeah,
there's a lot, George. You're right, man. There's and that's why I think we should write a blog. Like, the idea is to write the blog, and there's a lot of lessons, and hopefully people are going to read it. And everyone has their own versions of it, but gratitude is the king.
For sure,
is the king.
What else? What else came out?
You know what it is about gratitude? It helps you put things into perspective, and you know what? Sometimes you need to stop looking inside and start looking a little outside. You can't always think of your little problems all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guaranteed.
Well, that's another one. I think you hit another one. Another one that it's like you have to. Well, the pandemic has made, or at least me realize. Well, I knew this, but the pandemic kind of reinforced that notion. Is that you have to be bigger than your problems. Like, no one's going to ever eradicate problems. Problems are here to stay. A crisis is here to stay. You're going into one, you're in one, or you're coming out of one. You have to learn how to deal with the problems. And then you saw the different people that some people were bigger than the problem, other people were smaller than the problem. And that's another one. And that's another thing I was telling my kid, like, more Gerasim, obviously, because I could communicate these ideas a little bit differently. But you have to be bigger than your problems. You're never going to get rid of them. You almost have to embrace them and learn how to become bigger in order to solve them.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
It's part of the suffering.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Embrace your suffering.
But it's cool.
Embrace the suffering, man. Yeah. That's a good one.
Well, yeah, and you grow. The other thing that I realized this year, and of course, you kind of see it throughout the daily, basically, but more so this year, just like gratitude, right? The same way that you're always grateful, but you just don't realize it, and the context actually, woke you up to the realization of how grateful you are. In my case, I also realized how adaptive kids are, right? And that, when we're talking about things that your kids actually teach you, I think that's one of the main things, right? Because except for the first couple of months where it was a little bit of an adjustment, the kids weren't in school, or they had to kind of realize that they can't go play at the park or whatever, and in some cases, I mean, it's important for these kids to have these outlets, right? I mean, they need their activities. They need to be in school with their little kid, with their friends. That little chit chat that they always have. It's their little ecosystem. It's their little world, right? And suddenly they lost it all. But in our case, we've mentioned this before. I mean, she was so excited. Her daycare was finishing, and then there's that summer camp program that starts. So all of that was gone. The ballet lessons, the swimming lessons, the gymnastics, the parks. Like I said, everything was gone. And in some cases, I mean, the kids, maybe they even noticed the frustrations that were happening between either their mom or their dad or the other families or whatever, the setting they're in. They see these things, right? They understand all these things. And I'm sure they probably question all these things, but in a blink of an eye, it just seemed like they were back on track. And that's what's amazing, at least about my kids. I mean, and I'm sure that's probably the same for all the other kids. How fast they're able to turn things around and to kind of adjust to whatever reality is in front of them. Right? It almost feels like in their little brain, they realize that okay, now things are different. Okay, let's reboot, at lightning speed, and rewire everything and accept it, and let's just keep being kids, right? And I saw that in my kids almost instantly. I didn't see I've been talking to some other friends and some family where they're like, oh my God, my kids are depressed. They're not in school. Oh my God, they're not playing anymore. Oh my God, there's no soccer. Oh my God, there's no hockey. What are they going to do? And I don't know if in reality that's how the kids felt or if that's kind of the stress that the parents were putting on.
Yes. That's what I wanted to add. Very important.
But whatever, I heard that a lot is what I'm trying to say. And in our case, we tried not to pay too much attention to what was happening and to just make them just continue being kids, right? And I think it's a lesson that we can learn from them too. And it's what you were saying before, George, about adopting the difficult times, right? And this is what it is. I mean, the kids do it so well, and they do it subconsciously. Like they're not aware.
Their perspective is not affected.
It's not like my 5-year-old daughter will come and say, "Okay, we're in the middle of a pandemic. These are hard times. Let's go. Come on." Let's go, Emma. We got to get up and adjust, and that doesn't happen, right? I mean, it happens.
But George, you know what, man? It has a lot to do with the parents' attitude. You could really project and permeate the stress because kids are like antennas. They'll pick it up. They'll pick up the vibes, and you can scare your kids to death. In my household, COVID was this. Look, there's a virus going on. Go wash your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what COVID was. So those kids cannot be stressed. I didn't put the stress on them. Yeah. So obviously, I agree with you.
You didn't transfer that perspective that'll
at all. And kids are made like that. And that is shown in a nice movie from with Roberto Bellini. Is it Beautiful Life? Yeah. The guy goes through the whole war, and what he does is he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He knows he's gonna die. He knows he's in danger. But what is he doing? He's painting this beautiful picture and he's having fun with his kid. So the kid is going through a whole war, not thinking it's war, and that's the lesson.
Yeah,
that's kids pick up your vibe, and that's why you need to lead by example. So if you're a stress ball and you're afraid and you're a germaphobe and everything stresses you out, well, your kid's gonna pick that up and thinks it has to be stressed as well.
But I think more than anything, I realized that. Obviously you see it through your kids, but I mean, your kids are also human, right? And it's just the ability that we have to just naturally adapt.
To true.
Whether they're good or bad, and it's just, I'm fortunate to have kids that obviously they kind of, but maybe you said, I mean, maybe it's us too. We didn't really delve on the negatives. We just try to make them continue doing what they're doing, but at the same time, even them, they're like, okay, nothing's like it's as if nothing really changed in their attitude or their energy levels or their behavior or anything. You know what I mean? And for me, I mean, when I look back and I realize all that, I'm like, look at that, man. I mean, there's a lot we can take from that in the sense that, okay, let's say if it wasn't a pandemic, you know what I mean? How do we take the situations that come up in our lives, whether, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, we're so consumed with our reality and everything that revolves around work, responsibility for your family, money, whatever, payments, anything that revolves around that house ecosystem, that we tend to always forget that, look, man, it's not as bad as we may think it is. And even if things are bad, there's always room for us to kind of adapt and overcome the obstacles, right? And it's just weird or surprising a little bit that you got that lesson from like a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. But you touched upon another one. You talk about money. And I know it's one of those taboo subjects, but you know what? If gratitude is king, cash is queen.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that didn't have some money saved up suffered. So that's directly a lesson to the kid. Like, like when you have $100, like you give, like, uncles, parents, they give kids money or they make money from the birthday. You know what? If you teach your kid to go and spend it all, guess what? There's going to be a crisis when they're going to be 30, 40, 50. There's a crisis every 10, 15 years. You know what? And that is a lesson too. You got to have some cash. And I don't mean cash like under the mattress. I mean, you need to have some cash. You need to have 6, 8, 9 months of your expenses saved up. So if something like this comes around, you don't get wiped out. And you got to teach your kid, when you get $100, don't spend 110, right? You have $100, spend 60, put the 40 on the side. Like, you have $100, you can never spend more than 60.
Yeah.
And you might think it's not important, but it's so important because a lot of people suffered, man, because they're like a paycheck away from bankruptcy. It's like, if there was no government aid, like, things would be different.
Yeah.
So that's another one. And
it would have been much worse, I think. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, we spent, and I mean, I'm much more politically oriented, and I'm on some other podcasts where we talk about news a lot. And we criticized a lot the government and this whole management of the pandemic. But at the same time, when you look at it globally, we really can't complain. I mean, they put everything available, and yeah, I mean, we're eventually going to have to pay for this, right? There's no doubt about that. I mean, this is our money. It's us. It's not the prime minister that's going to take it off his pocket, to pay back. But at least there was a giant security net for a lot of people. You know what I mean? And you got to be grateful for that, man. Honestly, we live in a good country. We live in
a but you still got to figure out for yourself. You can't depend on your government. You can never depend on your government. Not you can never. You could depend on your government because the government is going to pull through, maybe, somehow, most of the time. But you have to assume as if the government is not there for you. You got to take care of you.
100%.
You got to take care of you. So yeah, you're right. You have to criticize them because obviously the government is there to be criticized, and it's only there to get better and improve. But yeah, man, that was another one. George, Panusis, how about you, man?
For us too, there was some learning to be made, to be done. I mean, being a temporary elementary school teacher proved not to be what I'm made for. I became very grateful for all those teachers, all those little school teachers that we have.
Yeah, my wife, George's sister.
Yeah. I think I
man, oh man.
No,
you develop a whole other world of respect.
I've always had that perspective, that appreciation, but more so now. But when I hear people complaining, oh, they get 2 months off. Oh, why should I do that? Because you've never taken care of your own kid for that many days, how many hours in a single day. That's why you don't care.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good one.
Yeah, see, these are the little things that we often take for granted and that we never take time to actually consider.
Take for granted. It doesn't even exist.
Yeah, no, it's not even on your radar. You have no idea.
Exactly.
I mean, I am, and Chris is as well, because my sister talks to me a lot about what's happening in school, and obviously Chris, it's probably daily when they go through their day. So we've been exposed to like stories and the difficulties of actually doing that job. But for many, I think this time around, it was an eye opener. I'm sure so many parents were missing their teacher. In March.
The reason they go to school for so many years to figure out how to keep these kids engaged all day.
Yeah. Because It's almost like there's two things, right? It's two tenets. You have the babysitting and you have the learning. And you got to do both without messing or compromising one.
And you have to use some kind of performance art to keep them in there.
Yeah. It's an art. It's an art and a science.
No, but think about it. The parents, the parents that are realizing this, like us and probably others, they're realizing this with maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 children at home. Imagine 20. You know what I mean? Or I don't know how many they have.
20 that don't belong to you.
And 20. And sorry, guys, 20 of this generation that have everything. Entitled, a little spoiled, a little coddled, you know?
And many kids who don't even get reprimanded for anything.
Yeah, and just a little correction, 27. Alex heard that. She's like 27, not 20. 27.
27.
Let's clarify that. No, it's true, man. Like, look, I see it every day. We talk about it. You're right, George, every day. And it is something. And you know what? It's like, parents have to start understanding that, you know, and it's parents have to start understanding that it's the team is the parents and the teachers. And I'm not saying necessarily versus the kid, but the team, the collaboration is parent, teacher in order to do what's best for the child.
Right.
And it's a little unfortunate sometimes when you see that the team is student, parent versus the teacher. Yeah, and that's when it gets a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, because, you know, and look, we're not going to start criticizing parents because I'm not there.
No, we're not. It's just like, it's like, no, start seeing it from, No,
because I've also heard probably similar stories that your wife has told you too. And it's like, you know, they walk in and tell the teacher how to do her job or his job. And it's like, just step aside, man. Like, let the teacher do. And it's funny because we were part of that generation, at least my house. My father was like, listen, don't fuck around in school. You know what I mean? Listen to the teacher. And that's how it was.
It was simple. When my dad would say, when I'm not there, your teacher's in charge. That's it.
Yeah. Like, don't come crying to me, man. It's like, forget it. The teacher's
right. I better not hear any complaints. Yeah, let me not hear. I don't care if you're right or wrong. I better not hear any complaints.
Yeah.
Like, do what you got to do for the teacher not to call me.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my kids now.
Yeah, it's the best advice, man. That's the best advice.
I wonder, you know, it'd be interesting to talk to a teacher like from the 80s or 90s. It must have been much easier. And, you know, I mean, easy. It's a big word to just throw out there, right? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but it must have been easier to teach kids of our generation, like you said, because kids, they have everything. They're always right. They never get punished. You know, I don't know. I'm curious to see how that comparison is, you know, like our teachers, for example, in elementary school versus, for example, your wife or my sister, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's that magic word you said before, adapt, you know, the adapted.
Yeah.
They adapted their style.
So let's talk. What's up in 2021, guys? What are we looking forward to? What are we? What's in the works? What are the plans?
A lot, but lots of stuff, man. We can't. Too big, too much to cover in an episode, man.
So okay, yeah, no, for sure, and that's why we're talking. We're gonna have blogs about these things, but just typically, what's like maybe one thing that you want the next year to kind of bring you?
You want to? My kids came into the house from the snow and they're like, "Baba, we want to go back to Greece. We want to go back to the beach." I'm like, "I do too."
When your 5-year-old realizes,
I think it's possible for next year. I think it's possible for next summer.
Man, we're actually talking about George, Chris, before you logged in. I look, and I think I said that on previous episodes. I was 100% sure in March that everything would have been done by the end of the summer. In my mind, it was like, okay, well, it's a little virus. We're all going to get through it. Don't worry. You know, there's confinement measures. Everything is nice and strict. People are going to respect them. And, you know, by September, everything's going to be back to normal in my mind. That didn't happen. So I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. But I was telling George that, you know, by summertime, things should be okay. But I'm just not sure if we're going to be confident enough to make the trips, you know?
Yeah. Look, the way I planned my year was that if that happens, it's gravy. So I didn't plan a trip. Obviously, if I'm able to, I will go. But it's not a planned trip.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to set the expect. That's what we're talking about at the beginning. You know, when you're saying, everyone's saying, okay, I want 2020 to go fuck itself, and I want 2021 to come and it's going to be strong. It's like, if you're setting up that kind of expectation, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Exactly.
So you want to kind of work within the idea that things are going to be bad. Like, how do you navigate through the darkness a little bit? Right? Set the goals, do what you do it a little bit better, and then don't even think about that. So when it does come and you're allowed to travel, things are back to normal, that's the cherry. Yeah, you appreciate it more. Don't set yourself up for failure.
But you know what the reality, Chris, that everyone is already on a beach in their mind. I'm on a beach in July somewhere. I don't know where. It just feels like everyone just wants, it's like this little hole, and there's so much pressure, then it just pops, and everyone wants to just leave and do something, you know?
But you know what, man?
Look what's happening now. How many people just fucked off and went to the south, man? It's crazy, and everyone's
honestly, I believe this. I believe this. You can challenge me if you want on it, but I believe the people that look forward to next August, just take some time off, are not very happy the day-to-day. If you find a way to get fulfilled in your day-to-day, you don't need to vacate. You want to vacate because you want to go have a good time. But if you that's all you're looking for, that's where you need goals.
Yeah.
Because if you're only looking forward to that vacation, that means you're not hitting the goals.
Yeah.
So you're not getting your dopamine, you're not getting the good chemicals in the brain. You're not feeling.
I understand what you're saying.
You understand? That's what I'm saying.
In terms of what you were saying, that, let's plan ahead. So maybe people were like, okay, look, we're gonna have all these goals, and summertime, let's keep a little month window over there to travel, summer, whatever. Problem is that, I don't know. I just
no, but wait.
I just don't see myself booking any tickets like in February, like we usually.
No, but you do understand that going on vacation is not a goal.
No, of course not.
Going on vacation is a reward to a goal. So you hit a goal, and then
for some it might be. Some people look, we haven't traveled since 2016. I mean, it's I'm telling my wife.
That's a goal.
I'm like, listen,
it's a goal. It's a goal.
We, at some point, I mean, we would take little trips here and there, but to actually fly and go somewhere and just completely unwind, the last trip we took was in 2016. And since then it's been like rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, we're going to Greece next summer, and she's like, we can't. It's like, who's gonna, like, we're running a business here, like, we can't. And then the mechanisms were like, okay, I gotta think of something. I don't know.
Bro, that's simple, man. You just get Rocky 4.
What?
You get Rocky 4 to step in.
You get Rocky 4 to step in, man.
Balboa. Yeah, it's a little comparison with my father-in-law. No, but so there's all these other factors there too. Again, we don't know how our life is going to be moving forward, but at least like you said before, the day-to-day, month-to-month, as long as you're fulfilled and you feel like you've achieved something and that you're happy, for me that's the most important thing. If we can squeeze in a trip, I would really love to leave. I'm not sure how possible it is. Obviously, I mean, I'll listen to my wife on that one. But I don't know, man. I think
that's it. It's a decision.
So maybe your goal should be to build a staff that can cover you while you're gone.
Yeah, but
that's a goal.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
Yeah. That would be.
Now you're not. That's the science.
Yeah, but it's difficult to leave and to know that your mind is at ease. I don't know.
See, now you're being pessimistic.
No, it's not being pessimistic. It's just being realistic.
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way you can do it.
No.
But I don't know. I honestly feel like if everything goes well, right? Like let's hopefully it will. Let's assume that by March, April, May, everything is back to quote unquote normal. Watch Montreal just empty. June, July, August, there won't be one soul in the city. Everyone is gone. Everyone is looking so forward to just getting the hell out of here.
I think so.
George, I'm convinced. If everything, again, it's the big condition, right? If everything ends up being okay, Montreal is empty in the summer.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be more like what you said. People comfortable with the idea of flying to another country and interacting.
Well, I don't know. Look, that's where I am. I'm like, personally.
I'm questioning if people are gonna be shaking hands or kissing hello for a while.
I think we're gonna forget about that. I think we're gonna adjust to that, back to our old ways much quicker than we think. But I was telling you, for me personally, trusting this whole thing again about flying airplanes, airports, this, that, with 2 kids, I don't know. Maybe next summer it's too soon. But when you look at now what's happening, look at it. The government let the people travel. People left. They don't care. Regardless of the fact that the government's been telling you, look, guys, don't travel. Please, let's try and protect ourselves. Let's try to bring those numbers down. Everyone's just like, yeah, ciao, bye.
Not everyone. Not everyone. There's a small portion of society.
No,
not everyone.
Of course, when you look at 8 million people in Quebec, yeah, of course, it's a small portion, but it's still a considerable number. Maybe less than usual that travel around this time of year, but still.
But why does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise. It's what I just to touch upon what George was saying about people being afraid next summer. If they're not afraid now, next summer, if things are even remotely better, yeah, everyone's going to leave.
Yeah.
Look, it's going to be a weird phenomenon.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that far. I'm not thinking there. I don't think like that. No, I'm serious. If it happens, it's gravy.
Yeah.
Like I might go to Spain again if they bring back the tournament. I might go to Spain, go to Greece. But it's like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds good.
But for a lot of people, it's like a lot of people. The worst is the people that are going to want to go and they won't have the resources to go.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
Who like was I talking with you guys when we're saying, by come March, was it with you guys? We're like, there's no staff, we can't find any employees or whatever, and they're like, oh no, it was with a cousin of mine. He has a pizzeria and he has a hard time finding people to hire, and he's like, whatever, man, I'll be patient a couple more months. Trust me, March is gonna come around. Everybody's gonna have to pay the taxes back to the to the government.
Right. Yeah.
So eventually, everybody's gonna come back to work in March. They're gonna need money to pay back the taxes on everything they got for free. Oh man.
Yeah, and don't forget, already when you're not in a pandemic, right? People spend a lot of money for Christmas, right? So I don't know what the stat is, but I think it's something like people are in about 3 to 4 months in debt after January. So people are paying off debt until March, April, May, right? Yeah. I have a feeling that people are going to be in debt for the next 2-3 years now.
Oh, for sure. Like,
remortgaging, getting loans, line of credits.
No, it's not necessarily
credit cards.
You're going to get your tax returns. You're going to owe the government whatever amount, and then you're going to, how many people are going to, get on that plan? Okay, well, I'll pay it off in 2 years or in a year, and they're for sure at least a year. They're going to pay off things. I don't know.
You know what? Another thing that I learned.
Yeah. This
is obviously not up there with gratitude and all the stuff we're talking about. But everyone has a little chef in them.
Yeah.
Everyone's a cook, man.
My wife.
You don't need to eat out. You could just sit in and have a healthy food, prepare, learn, have a good time doing it. And this is obviously for the people that don't cook all the time, right? I know George Panusi, you're more of the guy that cooks, or Cynthia, you're on a daily basis, but we weren't. We would cook maybe 3-4 times a week, and then the rest was eating out.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you don't need that.
Yeah,
you don't need that much.
Yeah.
You had a good backup.
My wife took up an interest, man. Like every day, like looking up recipes and
man.
Of course, we cook almost every day, but this was like to the next level. It's not like let's have eggs for breakfast. It was like, no, let's have eggs plus a side dish plus every dressing.
Yeah.
Let's take it up a notch.
And it even reinforced my relationship with my mom. I would call her up and say, hey, how do you make this? And I wouldn't see her, but I'd feel the smile.
Yeah.
The pride. Yeah, look, he's calling me. And then she would take her time and tell me to do this. And then she would,
Was she like your dad? Was she like my dad calling you 3 times?
No, but she would call me after, say how it went.
She would tell you set it to 2 and let it simmer for an hour and a half, but she'd call you after 45 minutes to see how it's going.
Did you put in 45 minutes? You should
yeah.
Lower the heat now.
Scrape the bottom of the pot.
Yeah, but just to get back to what you're saying, it's not only cooking, it's just in general hobbies. Sorry. So a lot of people, either discovered or learned new hobbies. A lot of people went, started training. I started training this year much more than I ever did before. Started reading more books. Cooking is obviously one of them, and so many online courses.
Did you guys start gaming more?
No.
No.
Never into
I know some people that have. That's all they've been doing.
George, you've been gaming secretly. Your kids go to sleep.
I don't game. I haven't gamed in 20 years.
I can't do it.
I don't know about that, man. I can tell you for a fact that if I had a console at my house, for sure.
I have consoles. It's just I don't use them for that.
For sure.
You know how I do it, and I hope Yeraso doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
I'll go game with him, just like if I need to talk to him. Like I want to get a point across, you know, I want a little lesson, a little like, hey, what did you do that? Hey, your mom told me that you did that. Yeah. And like I bond with him.
Yeah, it's a cool way to connect.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I'll get through it. But man, today's games, dude, move too fast. I feel like my dad.
We got used to 4 buttons.
You're holding the remote, you're going like this when you want to jump.
There's 76 buttons. There's 101 things happening all at the same time. And not on top of that, they're talking with one another. And I can't observe to learn how to play. I can't do that. Like I need a manual.
It's not that bad.
No, but for me it is, man. It's like I'm not there. I'm not that sharp to get it quick. Yeah, but so that's my gaming. So like tomorrow, because I told him he's not going to play today. Tomorrow we're playing. What are we playing?
FIFA.
Not FIFA. Street Fighter. He wants to play Street Fighter. We haven't played Street Fighter in a long time.
You put the old Super Nintendo on?
No. Street Fighter and the Xbox.
Oh, okay. They have a new. Okay, I thought you
yeah.
Old stuff.
No, we're gonna do that. But yeah, that's the only gaming we're doing. But Yeraso's been doing a little bit more gaming.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, let me rephrase that. Yeraso's been doing a lot of gaming. Wait, a better way of saying that, Yeraso's been doing a hell lot more gaming than usual.
Yeah.
So he's gaming way too much.
Now he's gaming a lot. Yeah. But look, it's a holiday. I don't want to spoil it for him.
Yeah.
He knows what he's going back to.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. As long as he's conscious of the fact that, listen, when the holiday period is over.
Oh, yeah. January 4th, it's a whole new world.
January 4th.
It's a whole new world.
He took him by the hand. You see where I've circled number 4 here in January?
Yeah.
That's where
I got him a calendar. He has a new calendar. We're going to go stick it. This is what you're doing. Back to basics, man.
Yeah, man.
Back to the fundamentals.
A whole new world.
All right, boys. We'll end it there because I need to go cook for New Year's Eve.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
Man, I should have told my mom to make something for you guys.
I would have come picked it up. No, but it's fine. It's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
We don't always cook roast beef. You know what I mean? So yeah. Happy New Year to you guys. Happy New Year to your families, to your children, to everyone around you, everyone listening, everyone watching. Let's just hope that 2021 is going to be more positive, more optimistic. Let's not lose hope. Things are looking up. We just don't know when. So yeah, let's look forward to brighter days.
That's right. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Enjoy.
All right, guys. We'll see you all in the next episode. Ciao.
All right.
Fuck you, 2020.